Stepmother ties the millionaire's 6-year-old daughter to a beehive. The black hero saves her in time, Lily. Harrington's terrified screams cut through the still afternoon air as she struggled against the rope digging into her wrists. Tiny body, trembling only inches away from a wild beehive pulsing with angry movement. A swarm had already begun to rise, circling her face, brushing her skin, each buzz sounding like a countdown to something fatal. And a few steps away, Evelyn Ashford stood with her arms folded, her expression disturbingly calm, as if she were watching something she planned. Nothing about the scene looked like an accident. The spray can in Evelyn's hand, the way she had kicked a stone against the hive to shake it. The cold satisfaction in her eyes, everything pointed to intention. Lily was 6 years old, crying so hard she could barely breathe, and Evelyn acted as though it were a minor inconvenience she could explain away later. Maya Turner had only stepped into the backyard to collect the recycling bin when she froze mid-stride. Her pulse slammed against her ribs. Her training from years ago, back when she worked as an EMT, lit up every nerve in her body. Something was very wrong. She moved closer, and the details snapped into place. The rope, the hive, the spray meant to agitate bees. Lily's shrinking breaths. This was not an accident. This was cruelty dressed as a tragedy waiting to happen. A single sting could trigger an allergic reaction. Multiple stings could stop a child's heart. Maya knew that better than anyone. The wind shifted, carrying the sharp scent of the chemical Evelyn had sprayed. Bees reacted instantly, pouring out in thicker waves, their wings beating in a rising frenzy. Lily pressed her cheek against the tree, whimpering, unable to move, unable to defend herself. Maya swallowed hard, her voice trembling as she stepped forward. Before she even called out, a chilling realization settled in her gut. Evelyn wanted this to happen. She wanted the world to believe Lily wandered too close on her own. She wanted a tragedy with no suspect. And before this gets worse, make sure you are following this channel, because stories like this deserve to be heard, like the video so more. People understand what really happens behind closed gates. The next second decided whether Lily lived or died, and Maya was the only person standing between the child and the storm of stingers closing in. Maya Turner had sensed something was wrong long before the day she found Lily tied near the hive. It started with the way the little girl would shrink. Whenever Evelyn Ashford entered a room, her shoulders rising as if expecting something to hit her. At first, Maya thought it was simple nervousness, the kind children sometimes feel around strict adults. But the fear in Lily's eyes was deeper, almost trapped, as if she lived inside invisible walls no one else could see. One afternoon, Maya found Lily standing in the hallway, her arms pressed tightly against her sides. A small bruise peeked from just under the sleeve of her dress. Lily quickly pulled the fabric down when she noticed Maya looking. She did not say a word, but her silence said too much. Maya knelt beside her, speaking softly, but Lily only whispered that she fell again. The kind of explanation children repeat because someone trained them to. The bruises kept appearing light fingertip shapes one week, a strange scratch the next. Every time Maya asked, Lily gave the same scripted answers. The punishments were strange too. Maya once saw Lily forced to stand facing a wall for nearly an hour, hands flat against the surface, tears slipping quietly down her cheeks. Evelyn watched from her armchair, sipping iced tea as if observing something amusing. Another time, the child was not allowed to eat dinner because she had accidentally spilled a few crayons on the floor. Whenever Maya tried stepping in gently, Evelyn would give her a smile that felt sharp, as if warning her to stay in her place. People respected Evelyn because of her wealth, her family name, and her perfect public image. She volunteered at galas, donated to charities, and hosted fundraisers. Everyone believed she was a refined, generous socialite. No one saw what happened behind closed gates, and they certainly would not think to question her. Charles Harrington, Lily's father, was almost always out of the country on business. Maya saw him only in passing, a man who loved his daughter, but whose absence gave Evelyn full control. Whenever he was due home, Lily became brighter, more talkative, more like a child who remembered what safety felt like. But the moment he left again, that spark would dim, replaced by a quiet dread. Maya's instincts sharpened each time something felt off. Before working as a maid, she had spent years as an EMT, rushing into emergencies, reading injuries, understanding how bodies react to fear and pain. She had seen neglected children before. She had seen the way they flinch without realizing it, the way they scan a room for escape paths, the way their breathing quickens when someone dangerous steps closer. Lily showed all of it. That training made it impossible for Maya to ignore the signs. So she began documenting everything, not openly, but carefully, quietly. Her phone held a hidden folder filled with photos of bruises, recordings of strange punishments, and notes of dates, times, and incidents. She never confronted Evelyn directly, knowing one wrong move could make things worse for Lily. Instead, she watched, collected, prepared. But Evelyn seemed to sense when Maya turned her back. Her cruelty became more subtle, yet more deliberate. A withheld meal here, a locked bedroom door there. Lily's soft cries drifting down the hallway at night. Maya could not catch everything, no matter how hard she tried. Each week pushed things further, like Evelyn was testing how far she could go before something snapped. Maya felt the pressure building, a storm forming silently inside the house. She knew she would need to act soon, but she did not yet know how far Evelyn was willing to go to maintain control or what final line she was preparing to cross. That answer arrived the day the Beehive shook under Evelyn's hand. Maya's hand shook as she stepped closer to the scene, trying to make sense of the horror unfolding a few feet away. Her eyes locked on the spray bottle lying half hidden in the grass. The label showed it was a chemical designed to provoke insect aggression. Evelyn had not simply found it, she had purchased it. She had planned this. The truth hit Maya with the force of a punch. This was premeditated, calculated, arranged like a trap set for the smallest and weakest person in the house. The wind carried more of the chemical sent toward the hive, and the bees reacted with sharp, angry motion. Lily's cries grew softer, her breath short and uneven, her skin already turning blotchy from the first few stings she had received before Maya arrived. Maya felt her pulse climb. She recognized the signs. A 6-year-old could enter anaphylactic shock quickly, sometimes within minutes. If her airway began to swell, she would not be able to breathe. If her heart reacted badly, she could collapse. Every second mattered now. Time began to feel like sand slipping through Maya's fingers. She reached into her pocket with trembling hands and opened the hidden folder on her phone. With one quick swipe, she selected the entire file weeks of photos, recordings, and notes and forwarded it to her trusted friend, journalist Dana Price. She added a single message: emergency, child in danger, going live now. Then she pressed send. Her next call was even faster. She dialed her closest friend in the social work department, a woman who understood both law and child protection. The moment the line connected, Maya kept her voice low but urgent, explaining the scene, the rope, the hive, the stings, the spray used to provoke the bees. She explained the danger, the time limit, the signs she already saw on Lily's skin. Her friend did not question her for even a second. She promised she would alert the necessary authorities immediately, including Detective Aaron Miles, the one officer known for taking child welfare cases seriously. Meanwhile, Dana replied within seconds. She was already preparing a live broadcast, ready to push the footage onto every major platform. She promised she would draw the public eye to the Harrington estate, to the child in danger, to the woman causing it. Dana's voice came through firm and steady, telling Maya that she was sending the first alerts to emergency responders, journalists, and anyone who had the power to act. She told Maya to stay with Lily, to do whatever she could until help arrived. But help was still minutes away. Maya looked at Lily again. The child's tiny chest rose and fell in sharp, panicked breaths. A red rash spread across her neck. Her lips were trembling, and her hands were shaking violently. The rope held her firmly in place, preventing her from escaping even an inch. Bees buzzed around her face, landing on her cheeks, brushing her hair, crawling along her arm and back. Maya felt fear coiled tight inside her chest. She had treated allergic reactions before. She had seen how quickly a child could collapse if the swelling reached their airway. Her EMT training ran through her mind in fast, clipped thoughts. swelling, respiratory distress. Drop in blood pressure, fainting, cardiac arrest. She could not let that happen. She could not let Lily's life fade away while she stood a few feet away. But she also knew that if she moved too suddenly, the bees could attack harder. If Evelyn noticed her interfering too soon, she might do something even more dangerous. Maya stepped slowly, carefully, each movement measured. The countdown had already begun. The swelling on Lily's skin meant she had only minutes, maybe less, before the reaction intensified. If Maya failed to act quickly enough, Lily could slip into anaphylaxis, and once that happened, time would no longer be measured in minutes. It would be measured in heartbeats. Dana's live stream began spreading the moment she pushed it online. In less than a minute, comments started flowing in, viewers joining from every corner of the country. The footage showed the estate grounds, the beehive shaking, and a little girl tied helplessly beside it. People watched in shock as the scene grew clearer, the horror becoming undeniable. Messages rolled in rapidly, demanding someone step in, asking why a child was left like this, begging for emergency help to reach her in time. Evelyn noticed the shift in the air when Maya's phone lit up again and again with new notifications. She turned, saw the recording, and her expression changed instantly. The cold satisfaction she had been wearing vanished, replaced by a forced look of fear and confusion. She clutched her chest dramatically, stepping toward Maya as if she were the victim in the situation. She tried to speak softly, pretending she had only just discovered Lily in danger, acting as though she was shocked by the chaos around her. People watching the stream did not believe a single word she tried to mouth to the camera. The comments exploded with anger, accusing her of lying, calling out every false tear and every attempt to twist the truth. Viewers begged for police intervention, tagging news stations and reporters, pushing the video into trending lists. They knew what they were seeing, and they refused to let the woman responsible hide behind a mask of innocence. Maya held her ground, refusing to let Evelyn step closer to the child. She kept herself between them, blocking Evelyn's reach, making sure the camera captured every dishonest move the woman tried to make. Maya did not raise her voice. She did not argue. She simply stayed firm, letting the live audience see the difference between someone trying to save a life and someone trying to cover a crime. Her calm strength spoke louder than any shouted accusation. Meanwhile, Lily's body continued to react. Her breathing grew shallow, each inhale sounding like a tiny struggle. Her cheeks swelled, her eyes heavy, her skin covered in red blotches. Her hands twitched weakly as if she was fighting to stay present. Maya stepped closer, whispering to Lily, trying to keep her awake, her voice steady, even though her heart felt ready to break. She could see the swelling creeping toward Lily's throat. She could see her tiny ribs working harder with each breath. Time was disappearing fast. Detective Aaron Miles was on the road, lights flashing, sirens pushing traffic aside. The call he received described a child in critical danger, a possible murder attempt, a live stream drawing thousands of viewers. He contacted paramedics on his radio, telling them to prepare for a severe allergic reaction. He knew from the footage alone that a single delay could become fatal. His car raced through intersections, every second stretching thin. Far away, Charles Harrington stared at the video Dana had forwarded. He froze when he saw his daughter tied to the hive, her face swollen, her body shaking. His whole world narrowed to that single image. Without thinking twice, he dropped everything, ran to his car, and sped toward home. Nothing else mattered. His daughter needed him, and he knew he had been gone for far too long. Back on the estate, the tension twisted tighter. The live stream gained more viewers with every passing moment. People begged for updates, pleaded for someone to reach Lily in time. Evelyn paced nervously, realizing her lies were failing. Maya stayed focused on the child, ready to act the moment help arrived. But help was still minutes away. No one watching the scene knew what would arrive first, the rescue speeding toward the estate, or the tragedy already closing in around Lily's weakening breath. Sirens pierced the air, just as Lily's knees buckled against the rope, holding her upright. Detective Aaron Miles sprinted across the lawn the moment he stepped out of his car, his eyes widening at the sight before him. A child tied beside a furious hive, bees swarming around her tiny body, her breath shallow and fading. He stopped short only long enough to take in the scene, the rope, the spray bottle on the ground. And Evelyn standing nearby with trembling hands and a face twisted in fear and rage. As soon as she realized the detective had arrived, Evelyn snapped. Her fake tears vanished, replaced by wild accusations that spilled out of her in a frantic stream. She pointed at Maya, shouting that Maya was responsible, claiming she had discovered Lily tied up and had tried to save her. She screamed that Maya set her up, that the footage was fake, that the live stream was a conspiracy to destroy her reputation. Her voice echoed across the yard, unhinged and dripping with desperation. Maya did not take a step back. She did not raise her voice. She simply unlocked her phone, tapped the folder she had been building for months, and handed it directly to Detective Miles. The files loaded instantly. Photos of bruises, recordings of whispered threats, videos showing Lily flinching when Evelyn entered a room, written notes detailing punishments, missed meals, late-night crying, and every strange incident that no one else had ever questioned. It was all there, piece by piece, proving a pattern so clear that no lie could hide it anymore. Dana continued broadcasting every moment. The live stream captured Maya's calm delivery of evidence, Evelyn's unraveling, the detective's frozen expression as he scrolled through the files. Viewers watched in real time as the truth cut through every false narrative. Comments flooded the screen, calling out Evelyn's lies, praising Maya's courage, demanding justice for Lily. The story spread across platforms faster than Evelyn could shift her excuses. A loud engine roared through the estate gates, and Charles Harrington leaped out before the car even stopped. The moment he saw his daughter tied to the hive, his world shattered. He ran with a speed driven only by fear and love. He grabbed the rope with shaking hands, pulling it loose, whispering his daughter's name again and again. Lily collapsed into his arms, her breaths faint and uneven, her skin hot and swollen. His tears fell onto her hair as he held her, begging her to stay awake, telling her he was here now, that she was safe. Paramedics rushed in behind him. They lowered Lily onto a stretcher, checking her airway, her pulse, her oxygen levels. They worked quickly, giving her medication to slow the reaction, placing an oxygen mask over her face, sliding an IV into her arm. Dr. Helen Gardner arrived moments later, examining Lily with focused eyes. She explained that the reaction was severe, but because Maya had discovered her early, because help had arrived quickly, Lily would survive. The relief in Charles's eyes broke into a silent, shaking sob. Behind them, Evelyn was still screaming. She shouted that she was misunderstood, that the footage was staged, that everyone had turned against her. She tried to pull away when Detective Miles reached for her, but he did not hesitate. He placed her in handcuffs, reading her rights as her voice cracked into incoherent shouts. She kicked at the ground, insisting she was innocent, but the live stream had already shown the world otherwise. Maya stepped back, watching Lily being taken to the ambulance, watching Charles whisper promises into her hair. She felt her own chest rise with a long, shaking breath. The truth had finally come into the open. The child she had been protecting for months was safe at last. But the story was not over yet. There was still the question of what would happen after this. Now this moment would change everything for the people involved. Evelyn Ashford faced the courtroom with a face pale and tense, every attempt to charm or manipulate gone. The evidence Maya had gathered months in advance, combined with the live footage of the bee incident, left no room for doubt. The judge delivered a clear verdict. Evelyn was guilty of attempted murder, child abuse, and endangerment. Her sentence was long, decisive, and public, ensuring that wealth and status could not shield cruelty. People followed the trial closely, and by the time she was led away, the nation had already seen the full scope of her actions. Charles Harrington approached Maya outside the courthouse, his eyes heavy with gratitude and regret. He admitted that he had been blind to the signs, too absorbed in work and travel to see the danger his daughter faced. "Maya, I cannot thank you enough," he said, his voice shaking. "You saved my daughter's life. You have no idea how much that means." Maya nodded quietly, her focus still on Lily's well-being, not on praise. She had acted out of instinct, knowledge, and care, not for recognition. Lily slowly recovered under Maya's constant guidance. Every therapy session, every doctor visit, every moment of quiet play, Maya was there, forming a bond of trust and safety. Charles made sure Lily's life returned to normal as much as possible, but it was Maya's presence that reminded the child she was not alone, that someone would always protect her no matter what. Slowly, Lily's laughter returned, mingled with cautious confidence, a little stronger every day. Dana Price's live broadcasts, which had shown Maya's bravery and Evelyn's exposure, went viral. The story ignited national conversations about child abuse, domestic worker rights, and the responsibility of families to protect the vulnerable. Social media users praised Maya, sharing her story widely, while journalists interviewed her about how documentation and quick thinking can prevent tragedies. Her actions became a blueprint for others witnessing abuse in silence. Detective Aaron Miles personally commended Maya for her courage and expertise. He explained that her ability to recognize medical signs, gather evidence, and act decisively had saved a child's life and prevented a potential tragedy. "You did more than your job," he said. "You set an example for everyone who might feel powerless in these situations. Your vigilance, your skill, your determination made all the difference." Maya simply smiled, knowing the work had only just begun. As the public attention settled, Maya began to feel a new purpose forming. She had always been skilled and observant, but now she realized her experience could be used to protect more children. This single act of courage had opened doors she had never imagined. The weight of responsibility felt heavy, but also hopeful. She knew that this was only the beginning of a mission far larger than herself, and the next chapter was waiting to be written. Lily Harrington's laughter returned fully,
echoing through the Harrington estate with a lightness that had been absent for months.
Every smile, every playful shout reminded Maya Turner and Charles Harrington of how fragile life had been, and how quickly courage and vigilance had turned tragedy into safety. The little girl now walked confidently through her home and garden, her fear replaced by trust and love. Maya decided that her work could not end with just one rescue. She founded the Lily Harrington Foundation for Child Protection, a national organization aimed at helping children in danger and supporting domestic workers who witness abuse. Charles Harrington, feeling the weight of his prior absence, became a key supporter, funding the foundation generously and turning his guilt into purposeful action. The charity provided training, resources, and an anonymous reporting system to ensure no child suffered silently again. Dana Price continued to document the foundation's progress, broadcasting stories of rescue and courage. Detective Aaron Miles used the foundation as a training example for social workers and law enforcement, showing how vigilance and decisive action could prevent abuse. Dr. Helen Gardner contributed her medical expertise, teaching caregivers to recognize early signs of trauma and allergic emergencies. Together, this network of professionals amplified Maya's single act of bravery into a system capable of protecting countless children. Maya reflected quietly on the journey. The world had often ignored her, seeing only a maid, someone invisible, unimportant. Yet her courage, knowledge, and determination had shifted the balance, proving that even those considered powerless could make a profound difference. She smiled, understanding that true strength does not come from wealth or privilege, but from the will to act when others stay silent. And if you believe stories like Maya's deserve to reach more hearts, subscribe to the channel and like the video so this message travels further. Every view, every share helps ensure that courage, vigilance, and compassion continue to protect those who cannot protect themselves.